Welcome back to UFO news for December and January, and we are in 2024, and we have 7 points this session, and we have compromised everything into a small package, you could say. The first is about the secret meeting in the SCIF, where some Congress members got some information about UFOs and aliens. Number 2 is the Book of Light, which we are continuing to advertising for. Number 3, Zeta Reticuli video. It's an old video of Skinny Bob. 4, Oldies but Goldies, enjoy. 5 is UFO videos. We have 8 videos this time. 6, James Webb news. 3 pictures. We have 3 pictures this time. 7 is an Arcturian channeling. That's what I got the message of what was coming through. 1, here we are showing the video after the secret meeting in the SCIF. There are some Congress members coming out and talking.
But actually this is the first real briefing that we've had that we've now made, I would say, progress on some of the claims Mr. Grush has made in his complaint and some of the claims he provided to Congress. This is the first time we kind of got a ruling on what the IG thinks of those claims. And so, so this meeting, unlike the one we had previously when we did this briefing, this one actually moved the needle.
Very good. So that'll lead to more public hearings?
I think this one's going to lead to a lot of things. I mean, there's a lot of new questions and a lot of new areas to ask and poke in based on what we got in this meeting.
Can you give us a sense of what new questions you have?
Well, right. So let me just give you a hypothetical, because I'm not going to share anything from a classified briefing. But if someone makes 10 claims and then someone says, well, we didn't look into all 10 because they weren't all in the report, but hey, we found these 6 very credible based on it, well, then you would want to go attack those 6. That's what I'm saying. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman.
He's wearing shoes.
He's wearing actual shoes. They're real.
Yeah, that's the thing. They never.
Oh, that's the credible claim?
They're real.
So this is what I'll say. I'm going to reiterate, we can't talk about specifics and what we got into, but what I can tell you is what Grush shared with me in an unclassified setting that I firmly believe in. I believe that he's telling the truth. I think that he is a credible witness, and what I can also say is one thing in particular that really caused me to be concerned about this whole thing is that Grush had stated to myself, Representative Burchett, and another member on the phone that there were people that were hurt hiding this information and keeping this information safe and or trying to come forward with this information. What I can tell you is I believe that claim after now leaving. And that's all I'll say on that.
Do you think that the administration is sending the right people? Do you think that you guys are actually talking to the right people in these classified?
I think that they are sending the correct people on paper. However, there is, and it's become evident that there is an overclassification and that we are continually being stonewalled. My one concern is that we are authorizing money that is supposed to be spent on certain programs, and yet there is compartmentalization in which Congress doesn't have access to oversight in those programs, and that's a problem.
Are you more concerned leaving now than you were going in?
I feel the same. I think that I'm pretty much at the same space that I was. This entire process has been what facts do we have? Again, the credibility of the witnesses is incredibly important, and I think that we have very credible people.
How much of this is the distinction of saying, okay, there are certain programs that we have that are dark programs that we need to be very careful about letting that information out. Some of that can be attributed to what people have said versus this conversation about Grush and some of the claims he made in the open hearing about non-human biologics.
You know, as of right now, we didn't get into the specifics of that in there, but what I will say is that it has become apparent that there is a movement, whether it's within the intelligence community or not, to prevent us from finding out more information on this. And so we are going to do what we need to do as investigators to continue to pull on whatever strings and see where they lead. I think it's incredibly important to listen to the specific words that Grush uses. You know, Grush never said extraterrestrial or alien, he said interdimensional. I think that that's incredibly important because those are the types of things that when we go in there, there's just certain things that I think that it's important that you guys listen to on that.
On government funding, quickly, I know you voted yesterday, you still voted against.
This is UAP today, so thank you guys.
Can I get clarification?
Yes, one more.
You said interdimensional. I mean, now, what does that term, is this something that bends time and space? What are you getting at?
I think that Grush, when I had talked to him on whether these were specifically extraterrestrials or alien in origin, he said interdimensional. He refused to use certain terms, and I think that's incredibly important because I think that that's really the question we're all wanting to know, right? And so I'm actually going to have a sit-down conversation with him and ask him to come back and talk to us directly, because it seems that we are getting more information from the source than going into a SCIF and then not being able to tell you guys what we're talking about.
Is this stuff that we just, as humans, might not be able to understand if it's interdimensional?
I think that we can understand it. I think that it's just, it's an approach, right? I mean, like, remember, we just now for the first time in history really had Congress have whistleblowers come forward credible that we're telling the entire world that there is something other than human life forms. Grush said that those were interdimensional beings. He refused to use extraterrestrial and alien. I think that's important to note, but I do have to go feed my baby, so thank you guys.
Thank you.
No, heck no. This is just more of the same, more frustration. You put these guys and gals in a tough position. They're only, it's very compartmentalized, as we said. I said it's like looking down the barrel of a .22 rifle, and all they know is just right in that little circle. And but no, it didn't disqualify anything I've thought in the past.
What comes out of this meeting? What do you do in response to this stonewalling?
Well, it's just whack-a-mole. You go to the next one until we get some answers. We got some pretty definitive stuff that that I'm sure y'all get from somewhere else about what was discussed, and to me it was it made what I think more credible.
So they did tell you something. They didn't tell you nothing.
That's correct.
Okay. Because first you came out and you said we didn't learn anything new.
Well, we didn't learn anything new. It just verified what I thought.
Does that move the needle for you at all?
No, I think they're covering this thing up. That doesn't, and these guys pretty much verified that. They, as I stated, I mean, it's not their attempt to do it, but by design, this issue is very compartmentalized.
So what does the investigation look like going forward? Is it more hearings?
I think so, but it's got me focused on who we need to be bringing into the hearing. As I've stated, it's not about little green men and flying saucers. The issue is tens of millions of dollars on an issue that we've been told does not exist since 1947, yet they're spending that money on researching something.
So who would you prefer to bring in?
Well, last time I did that, our selection dwindled, so I'm going to keep that pretty close to the cuff because they ended up getting told not to come. Good?
We're good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Do you feel as though they were more transparent this time? Did you get anything that you didn't know before?
I'm more concerned than I was going into the SCIF, and I think that they have a lot of questions that remain unanswered. And Mr. Grush has made allegations that we're still trying to figure out the veracity of, and we haven't gotten the answers that we need.
And what do you mean more concerned? I mean, they stonewalled more, or what caused you to be more concerned?
My impression is that, unfortunately, I don't think that we're looking at the substance of his claims, and instead we're kind of dancing around kind of the procedural nature of his claims. And I think that we have to kind of delve into the substance and kind of figure out what's what. And we don't have the answers right now, and that's very frustrating to a member of the intelligence oversight kind of function that I'm part of.
I mean, now, one of the things that Mr. Grush talked about in the open hearing, he said that there had been non-human biologics Is that some of the type of things that you guys have gotten into and that they have not been as forthcoming on? Alien spacecraft or something that's not human?
Look, everybody is wondering about the substance of those claims. And until we actually look at those specifically and try to get answers about those claims are just going to be out there. And so that's what we need to kind of delve into. And unfortunately, I just wasted time in there not kind of figuring out whether those were true, and instead kind of dancing around the edges, talking about things that aren't really as important to me. All that being said, I think that Mr. Grush has made some claims, and he needs to be treated with some respect, and we need to get into the substance of his claims.
Was that asked about the non-human biologics and the alleged alien spacecraft?
I can't get into the specifics of the hearing, but let's just say that all of us were very interested in the substance of his claims, and unfortunately, I didn't get the answers that I was hoping for. I gotta go.
Thank you,
I'm
Mr.
sorry.
Christopher.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So did you hear anything in there that moves the needle forward, that changes what you thought before? Are they stonewalling you? Walk us through what do you know now that you didn't know when you walked in?
I just think what most of the American people fear is true, is that the government, there's a concerted effort to conceal as much information as possible, both from Congress and to the general public. So I asked very specific questions and was unable to get specific answers. And so that's a problem, and we're not going to stop until we get the truth.
So do you think that you're not getting specific answers because they won't tell you or because they don't know?
Well, I think what you see is a very compartmentalized effort. So by compartmentalizing the information to such a degree that if you don't ask the specific question to the specific person that has that piece of information, so we could take a puzzle with 100 pieces and disseminate it to 47 people. So unless you ask the right person for the right piece of the puzzle, you're not going to get an answer, and that's what's happened here.
Did you learn anything new today?
Nothing that I can disclose. Thank you.
2. Here is the Book of Light. And I've been writing a little bit more in it. And it is on sale on Amazon for I think $50 bucks, and then you will get it down to your mailbox, and you will support my work, and will also have a chance to become a higher frequency and higher vibration and get some more wisdom and love into your life. It's a beautiful book, and it's also meant for children, so children can, you know, try to help us clean up this mess which we have made there. And the new star children also need to look at such books to get out their spiritual sides and their, you know, wisdom, so they can help Earth, help us propel to a better society. I think you know what I'm talking about. No one, you know, really wants to admit it, that we need a different approach on this planet, and this is a part of it. So I put this up on Patreon, so kind of made a new enhanced version of this love. So this, it's a combined drawing book with, of course, a lot of wisdom and love. So buy it on Amazon. I have given away 8 copies of the first print of the book, which I got from Slovakia and another firm. 3 showing the alien video of Skinny Bob. It's old, but looks like the real deal. Enjoy. 4 Oldest with Goldies. We have 2 pictures from Judy Dorothy and her daughter Cindy and Gene Robinson's UFO meeting and abduction, where they got examined by the aliens. 5 pictures of Bill McDonald's concept art of composite model of the Roswell spacecraft. Very nice.
Yes, here we see the first UFO video of the UFO news for December and January. And we have a UFO which flies past the Air Force One. I think the president is going somewhere. And from this video it seems like it's around the LA, but I might be wrong. And you can clearly see that it is something spherical which passes by the plane or the planes. You can see a zoomed in version here. There it goes. So another evidence that there is something flying around in our airspace which is unknown. So here we have UFO video number 2, and it's a green UFO sending down a laser and a small UAP kind of dropping a drone in Florida. Kind of this green light is sparkling around. It kind of seems like it's kind of searching for something with this laser beam. Kind of a beam laser style. What this is, it must, whoever knows, the kind of strange things flying around in the sky these days. It's kind of unique. Kind of haven't seen one like this before. Sending down laser beams and orbs, sparkling orbs, you could say. So yeah, what's next? Kind of. There's also been observing some kind of black stuff flying around. but we won't have that yet. We will have that later in other news. So you can clearly see here that there's something's going on. And here is the UFO video number 3 is a UFO over England, over Hull, I think. Some say that this is might be balloons, but it doesn't really look like a balloon or balloons, does it? Since it kind of moves and turns, it looks like something robotic with appendages. But you know, what is it? Yes, you can ask that. Let's take it over England in the sky. Kind of seems to be hovering. 31st, 24, yeah. And you know, kind of strange stuff showing itself in the skies now. Kind of getting more and more. And one thing is stranger than the other, so. But people are still, you know, slumbering and they aren't waking up. So, but this is clearly evidence. Here is UFO video number 4. And we have a strange black orb which hovers over Portersville, California in 2024. I might be wrong of the date. They say that this might be a balloon, but this is a small clip. It doesn't behave like a balloon. It turns, it stops, it wavers, it speeds up, you know. And it has some signs, kind of writing on it. So the problem here is that if it's a balloon, it drifts and it will not stay in one place and move back and forth and turn and accelerate and stand still and even ascend and descend. So, you know, the amount of excuses and kind of things they say this is, you know, when it clearly doesn't act like a balloon. It is, you know, hilarious. No, I think some of these people think we are complete idiots, you know. But we are starting to understand now that no, there is something else going on there. And there is too much evidence and too many different types of orbs and spears and whatever flying around now. So this is a little bit inverted. Black is white, white is black. You can clearly see that this is not a balloon. It's going back and forth. It's clearly having some intelligent control. And UFO video number 5 is a hovering black UFO over somewhere, you know, wherever it is. It's clearly filmed with a phone and it's zoomed in. And you can clearly see that this is real pictures. It's a blinking, seems to be communicating with its surroundings with blinking lights. And it's a typical, you know, UFO shape. Kind of hovering, a little bit unstable, you know, like kind of skipping over water. Maybe it's the anti-gravity engines kicking in. Whoever they are communicating to, that you can only, you know, speculating on. See birds flying around, you see power lines. Well, clearly intelligent blinking and trying to establish in contact with its surroundings. And here we have UFO video number 6. And it's of the jellyfish UFO, which was filmed over Iraq. And it's taken in thermal. You couldn't see this with normal sight or infrared. So you have to use a special camera to see it. It's very special sort of UAP with tentacles and seems like it maybe has horns. And this was seen entering a lake and reappearing out of the lake after 17 minutes, I think. So, you know, what the fuck is going on, you know? And this is just a small portion of all the evidence, you know, gathered over the last 50 years. You know, some say it might be a balloon or it's a smudge on the camera, but it's kind of gone through a process of video analyzing, and it seems to be legit. It seems to be a 3D object there, which, yeah, there it goes, small black stuff flying around. This kind of, you know, you can say this is a robot. Is it a interdimensional creature?
Number 6 is James Webb News. 1. Brown dwarf or rogue planet. Since the objects are well within the mass range of giant planets, it raises the question of whether they are actually brown dwarfs or if they are really rogue planets that were ejected from planetary systems. While the team can't rule out the latter, they argue that they are far more likely to be brown dwarf than an ejected planet. An ejected giant planet is unlikely for two reasons. First, such planets are uncommon in general compared to planets with smaller masses. Second, most stars are low mass stars, and giant planets are especially rare among those stars. As a result, it's unlikely that most of the stars in IC 348, which are low mass stars, are capable of producing such massive planets. In addition, since the cluster is only 5 million years old, there probably hasn't been enough time for giant planets to form and then be ejected from their system. The discovery of more such objects will help clarify their status. Theories suggest that rogue planets are more likely to be found in the outskirts of star clusters. So expanding the search area might identify them if they exist within IC 348. Future work may also include longer surveys that can detect fainter, smaller objects. The short survey conducted by the team was expected to detect objects as small as twice the mass of Jupiter. Longer surveys could easily reach 1 Jupiter mass. These observations were taken as a part of Guaranteed Time Observation Program 1229. The results were published in the Astronomical Journal. The James Webb Space Telescope is the world's premier space science observatory. Webb is solving mysteries in our solar system, looking beyond the distant worlds around other stars, and probing the mysterious structures and origins of our universe and our place in it. Webb is an international program led by NASA with its partners ESA, European Space Agency, and the Canadian Space Agency. This image from NIRCam, Near-Infrared Camera Instrument on NASA's James Webb Telescope, shows the central portion of the star cluster IC 348. Astronomers combed the cluster in search of tiny, free-floating brown dwarfs, objects too small to be stars but larger than most planets. They found 3 brown dwarfs that are less than 8 times the mass of Jupiter, which are circled in the main image and shown in the detailed pullouts at right. The smallest weights just 3 to 4 times Jupiter, challenging theories for star formation. Picture number 2. It's of Cassiopeia A. This image highlights several interesting features of supernova remnant Cassiopeia A, as seen with Webb's NIRCam near-infrared camera. NIRCam's exquisite resolution is able to detect tiny knots of gas, comprised of sulfur, oxygen, argon, and neon from the star itself. Some filaments of debris are too tiny to be resolved even by Webb, meaning they are comparable to or less than 10 billion miles across around 100 astronomical units. Researchers say this represents how the star shattered like glass when it exploded. Circular holes visible in the MIRI image within the green monster, a loop of green light in Cassiopeia A's inner cavity, are faintly outlined in white and purple emission in the NIRCam image. This represents ionized gas. Researchers believe this is due to the supernova debris pushing through and sculpting gas left behind by the star before it exploded. This is one of the few light echoes visible in NIRCam's image of Cassiopeia A. A light echo occurs when light from the star's long-ago explosion has reached and is warming distant dust, which is glowing as it cools down. NIRCam captured a particularly intricate and large light echo, nicknamed Baby Cas A by researchers. It is actually located about 170 light years behind the supernova remnant. Picture number 3, inside a clean room of NASA. Inside a clean room of NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center on the afternoon of April 25, 2016, the James Webb Space Telescope primary mirrors were uncovered in preparation for installation of its scientific instruments. So this is before it was sent up. So it shows the engineers working on the telescope. Much love. Number 7, an Arcturian channeling. Yes, welcome back to this show. This is Atos of the Arcturian High Council. It's been a time since this one was channeled. It is okay. It is exactly at the right time. He has his feline friends here, and they are causing a little bit trouble, but it's okay. They are also his friends. We just want to say that disclosure is happening. As you know, as you see, there are some pushbacks from the agendas which want to rule over you and push their agendas and their domination over humanity. But it is also balancing out. They are also seeing that the only solution for progress and humanity ascending is that you have to unite and you have to find a way together. And this way can only be found with love through your heart. It is tough because everybody has to dip inside to get the reflections from the outside. So you have to do something with how you think and how you behave and how you use your feelings and your emotions and transmute them into positive thoughts and actions towards that which is not only on the inside but also the reflections on the outside. So it's a combination. But mostly, if you do the inner work, you will see that reflection come in the outer work, or the reflection of yourself, your consciousness, which you see to your eyes. You are yourself like a projector. You project that which is your consciousness to the outside. And many times you wonder why things are how they are, but that might be something you wanted to experience on this planet at this time, to gain some type of wisdom or expansion of your soul. But you are all now together into this, and you are all moving forward together because of the technology, the heightened frequency, and the light which comes to your planet. Yes, we have some problems with the felines here. They are trying to get some attention, and when the cat is gone, the mouse dances on the table. So that's kind of a reversed analogy there, because the mouse is the cat, and the cat in this place is the human sitting here channeling us. Yes, they are clever beings. And we know this because we have contact with many feline races. Let's hope that went well, and we just want to say that we love you, and that you are going forward, and that the new times coming will demand a lot of you, and also that you look inside and try to find peace inside, and try to find loving solutions and balance inside, because judgment, hate, and nitpicking won't help anymore. We have to do this together, because you are all in the same boat. And that means from the elitists to the poorest. We don't see it like that. We see everybody equal. But you have kind of made your own systems here, politics and order. And you have to break that and find a unity, a light, and a guiding arrow which leads you all together towards a common goal, which in the end will lead you out into the universe, to higher technologies, to higher spiritual love and understanding and wisdom. It is all about letting go of that which is of hate and negativity, and together embracing love again. We just want to say good luck on the journey, and we want to say that we are looking forward to meeting you the day you come as one human race, acknowledging that you are a part of a huge star family in the universe and in the existence. That we are not separate, that we are not alone, but we are all together in the same boat, which is called creation. Much love to you. I hope you can subscribe to my channel and help me support and make the better content on the channel. More drawings, more channelings, more UFO news and everything. It's kind of been slow lately, and I hope that more will support me and help get this project going. We kind of are soon to get YouTube monetized, so we can give more to charity. But I need more people to watch my videos, and then we can have much more support for people who need it. Now we have like 450 kroners a month. It's like $45 you can give to charity, and it's something. We already give 150 each month to the rainforest, so we have like every fourth month like $90. That's almost 1,000 crowns, so that's kind of 2 batches we can help. So if you have some suggestions of where we're going to help for April, I would like to know that. And you are welcome to my channel, to my Patreon channel, and to help me out and support me, and so you can help more people and get this message and show spread on the internet and among people, because people need to not only see the Book of Light, they need to join in on the higher frequencies and the changes which is coming to Earth, because it's going to be tough before it gets better, because some people don't want to let go of their materialistic gains, power and ego. So I know it's tough, you know, it's not easy to change, but we have been talking about that before. So, but we can all do it together, you know, but we have to start with ourselves first. So people often forget that you are yourself closest, as we say in Norwegian. Det er deg selv nærmest. And we all have some things we like to do and an ego, and so, you know, we have to find something common together, a common goal, you know, so we can work on together. But then we have to have all with us, all on the journey. So enjoy, have a nice day, have a nice year, have a happy new year, and I hope your day is great every day and that you have love in your life. Thank you. Goodbye.